Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 9th Singapore International Conference on Social Science and Humanities. I'm Associate Professor Dr. Noor Hanim, Rahmat. I'm from the Academy of Language Studies at Universiti Teknologi at the south of Malaysia, Johor branch at the Pasir Gudang campus. Today, the title of my keynote speech is The Innovation Cycle for Academicians. I've given a talk on innovation in one of the conferences in Melbourne before the COVID 2020, and the title is Innovation in Education. Why innovation? Even at my universities, there's this big hoo-ha over innovation. Lecturers are rushing to take part in innovation competition. We are encouraging our students to take part in innovation competition. All right, we take part in innovation competition. We want to be recognized that we have innovation when we teach. Why innovation? Why is innovation entering our classrooms? One thing for sure, if you're my age, I'm not young, you realize that the way we learn now is very much different from the way our students learn now. Our children learn now. Okay, they don't learn the way we learn. I remember going to school and looking up to my teacher like, wow, I go to school to get knowledge from my teacher, all right, and I'll be wowed by the information that my teacher gives me, especially in the subjects that I love. All right, so I depend on my teacher for knowledge. All right, but students these days are different. All right, whether we like it or not, whether we agree or not, they are different. All right, they learn differently. All right. One thing for sure, according to Lascaris 2015, he said that the learning environment for the millennials have changed. For many of us, it has changed a lot. One thing for sure, he found out in his research, he said that, number one, millennials look for research-based information. If you want to tell them something, be prepared to tell them, I'm not the only one who said, somebody else have done the research on it. All right? Okay, then the other one is relevance. If you want them to learn something, make sure that they feel that this is going to be of relevance to them. If not immediately, maybe later. They need to see the relevance. And next one is they have to have a rationale for wanting to learn it, or you have to have the rationale to want to teach them. All right? And another one, which is true, very true, they want a relaxed atmosphere. I can't be that strict teacher anymore like I used to do, all right? They want it to be relaxed, no matter how stressful the subject is, no matter how difficult the topic is, they want it to look relaxed, all right? And they want rapport. Okay, they want to laugh with you, ha ha ha, smile. Okay, they want to feel that, they can communicate with you. Right, so these are our students now, right? So the way they learn have changed. Okay, what are they expected to learn them? According to Beckens et al. 2010, the outcomes of learning, all right, will be number one, there will be changes in knowledge and beliefs. All right, we hope that when they have gone through a semester or a course, that there will be changes in knowledge. I mean, yeah, it makes sense that, you come in with zero or a little bit more than zero knowledge, and then by the end, by the time you finish learning the new course or the new learning, you would have changed your knowledge. It's supposed to have improved. Right, beliefs, yes. Maybe certain things, but after you learn, you realize that it's not supposed this way, but this comes with this, right? So your belief will be different, and then there should be, and whatever that they learn, you have to make sure that whatever they learn, that they will be practicing it later. All right, even if it's just that's why we talk about lifelong learning. All right, and then after you learn, the outcomes will also be changes in practices. All right. And finally, Beckens also said there should be changes in emotions. We hope that if they started with not liking the course, so by the time they finish learning, they would have liked it less. No, hated it less or like more. All right. Okay. We hope that they've changed, or not vice versa. All right. Okay. When I give talks to have motivation pit stops. Okay. Number one, whatever we call ourselves, instructor, lecturers, teachers. All right. We are teachers encourage the minds to think. We can't give them the information and let them learn. All right, students of today's, they decide what they want to remember. They decide what they want to learn. All right, so we should be encouraging them to think. We give them the hands to create and also the hearts to love. All right, believe me, when you love what you do, your students know. All right, especially more so in the online learning mode. That's what I have been doing for almost 2 years, is online learning mode. I think more so because everything depends on your facial expression now. All right, okay? So a good teacher can inspire hope, ignite the imagination by your tone of voice, by the way you speak. My hands are everywhere when I speak, and also instill love of learning. All right, they want to find out more. They don't just end your lesson and that's it. All right. All right. Yes, as academicians, we cannot run away. We have to write about teaching. We are not only expected to teach, we are also expected to write. A better way of looking at it is we write about teaching. We write about what we teach. That will be more interesting, closer to us. Okay. You can make anything by writing. All right, I enjoy writing. I enjoy writing journals. I have quite several journal articles that I have published with creative titles, but yet they're academic. All right. Yes. Okay. However, look at this person there. Some of us get so lost at the start or never start. Oh, you don't know how to start. All right. Yes. In 2019. I did a research on, that's my name, 2019, and also Lash 2018. All right. I did a research on writer's block. All right. Many people use the word writer's block very easily. I have writer's block. I cannot start. All right. Is it real? All right. So, what I found out is that, number one, the reason why we have writer's block is that we fear, we are afraid of rejection by publishers. Yes, many times, until it gets published, we fear of rejection by the publishers, by the readers. All right. Some of us have writer's block because we want to be perfect. Right, so each time we write something, that's not good enough. I'll send a better one, and then you get busy and caught up in your work. The better one never came. So that's perfectionist for you. I don't know whether it's good or not. All right. And some of us are afraid of self-criticism. No, some of us are guilty of criticizing yourself. All right. You finish one amount of work and you compare your work with another person's work. All right. You criticize yourself. Oh, you finish one set of article and you look at another person writing, but I can't write as good as that person. And in the end, you don't send it. You never even try. You never even find out if you fail. Or maybe you don't. So you criticize yourself. It's not good enough. Somebody else has written something better than this. All right? Or some of us get writer's block because we have external pressures. All right, factors outside writing activities or writing communities. Responsibility. I've got too much things to do. All right, but then again, are they real? Can't answer that question. Okay, next one. Innovative teacher. All right. Okay. After all, the title is about innovation. Okay. Yes. What and how to teach. Constantly improving on your teaching methods, and you conduct research to share ideas. All right. Whether you believe it or not, all right, I think many of us, if we are educators, we are teachers, we are academicians, if we have taught many years, all right, there will be more than one instance where whatever that you teach in the class, although you think it's just that your normal routine of doing it, but nobody has done it that way. I always believe that you can have the same syllabus. Somebody else can be teaching the same notes. Somebody will be giving the same set of notes, all right? And to what? To 10 different teachers to teach. But that will be highly likely that if you go to the 10 classes, they don't teach it the same way, all right? So that's creativity, and that can be innovation, all right? So some of you will say, yeah, but I don't think whatever that I've done, somebody have done it before. Not necessarily, all right? Okay. So the reason why my title is the innovation cycle is because I have written a paper for Terra, all right, and it's called the RPI cycle. This has already been I've already it's under intellectual property right under my university because I've already registered it. It's unique. Maybe you know all these 7 points, but you never thought of it going around in a circle like this. I put it in a circle. Let's look at it, all right? What is RPI? R is research. P is publication. I is innovation. Research, publication, innovation cycle. All right, okay? And I did the research on it, and I found that, and I've gone through it myself, all right? There is a minimum of 7. It can go on, and the 7 can go into 1 again, all right? Okay? Okay, how is it? So number 1 is classroom ideas. Many of us have very interesting classroom ideas that night before a class. Okay, I know I'm going to teach this topic tomorrow, all right? Okay, but how shall I do it? There's going to be something creative there. All right, that will be create classroom ideas, all right? And then that's the first stage. You have an idea, you go to class and you teach, but you don't just stop there. You make plans, all right? Don't you want to know whether your students are okay with this creative method way of teaching? Even if you feel it's not creative, if you know somebody else is doing it some other way, then it is creative. All right, okay? So then you plan a research write-up. The writer's block. You plan the research write-up. Okay? Then I don't let it go to waste. Publish it. Go and publish in a journal. Publish it in a book. Chapter is in a book. Go publish it. Publishing is not showing off. Publishing is actually sharing with internet. You'll be surprised. Whatever that you write, it will be shared with the world. Sounds like very big. Last time the word world is like so big. Now, yes, you publish it in a journal, and the world will read it. All right. Okay. I sometimes I get interesting messages by saying somebody reads my work and somebody say, dear Dr. Noor Hanim, I've never thought of teaching writing this way. Thank you for the idea. So sometimes you don't know that somebody will find it interesting. Just write about it. But you don't just write. You don't just write a story. We are academicians. You don't write a narrative story. All right. Okay. Then stage 4, you get a copyright. You can copyright the instrument if you feel that the instrument is new, the survey that you use. It can be the survey, it can be the coding. If it's new, you can copyright it. All right? Or you can even copyright the idea. I copyrighted my method of teaching. I'll show you afterward with one example. More than one example. All right, okay? Then supposed to be number 5. Number 5 will be you participate in innovative competition. There's lots of it now. You send your video, taking part of a competition, not video presenting like this. Okay, you take part in innovative competition. Okay, you share your innovative idea. You explain how you got the idea, how you go about doing it, and maybe you get a bronze, maybe you get a silver, all right, a gold, all right. And then after, don't just stop there. You might want to share about this, how to teach your creative method. So go write a book on it. I call it the how-to book. It's the how-to book. All right. And then after that, yes. Then you participate in another innovative competition to now share with other people in the competition about that book. Just now was the teaching method. Now the book. All right. Okay. All right. Don't worry. I will give example for every step one. Let's begin. All right. Ready, set, go. All right. Let's start. Okay. Allow me to walk you through the journey of the innovation cycle for the educator. This is a suggestion. I'm going to show you what I mean by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. All right? Let's begin with number 1. Number 1 is classroom ideas. All right? Now, classroom ideas. I'm going to give you one example. All right? My favorite, in fact, my PhD is in the teaching of writing. So I enjoy teaching writing. I used to enjoy teaching courses. I'm now in the language academy, so I actually teach language itself. But I used to teach in the Faculty of Education, where I teach future teachers how to teach writing. All right, so I enjoy teaching courses like methodology of teaching writing, and now I'm teaching college writing. I'm teaching academic writing. If you had the chance to teach writing, you realize that few difficult concept to teach will be thesis statement, topic sentences, controlling idea, main idea. Those are very difficult things to teach. All right, and then even for my postgraduate students, for my master's and my PhD, teaching background of study is difficult. Statement of problem is a problem. Statement of problem is a problem to teach. All right, literature review is another difficult world to teach. All right, but actually it's just academic writing. It's knowing your thesis statement, knowing your controlling ideas and expansion of ideas. So I find it very difficult to teach that. So many years ago, a few years ago, all right, I was planning how to teach writing, academic writing for college level, and I said, how am I going to teach this topic sentence and controlling ideas? It's very, very difficult. So I came up with the use of movies. All right, so I use movies. Of course, they love the homework to watch the movies. All right, so I actually teach movies, and from the movie, I will teach them how to write, how to come up with an essay. What are the prominent characters in the movies? What are the lessons learned in the movies? But it's not a title. What is important is how I teach them to do the thesis statement, how I teach them to do the controlling ideas, the topic sentences, all right? Okay, for example, I observe a method of teaching. So here, this is like a action research cycle, all right? First I observe, I reflect, then I plan, then I act on it. Okay, what was the first one? First one is I think and observe a method. So I started using movies. So my favorite line on the first day of class is that homework is, then everybody will say, okay, first day of class we got homework. Say, no, homework, go and watch a movie. So the whole of the 3 weeks, in order to teach them academic essay writing, it's based on the movie that they've watched. All right, so I observe, so I let them choose a movie. All right, then after that, reflect. Some of my favorite movies in the past years, I remember now, even when I walk around and I see my ex-students outside during the non-COVID days, I won't ask them which batch. I will ask them which movie, because one semester normally I will have either one movie per class, because it's easier for me to teach. So I will like, which movie, then I know which batch. All right, I've used movies like Finding Nemo. I've used movies like Shrek, my favorite, Shrek. All right, Kung Fu Panda. I've used movies like Breaking Dawn. Yes, there was that time where everybody likes to watch the vampire thing, vampire movies, and also Justin Timberlake's In Time. All right, and many more. So then I have used all these movies. Then now, after I have used it, then when I want to start a class using the movie, I plan how the method is going to be used. And I realized that apart from using movies, I also teach students how to write paragraphing using the diamond approach. All right? You begin the paragraph by getting the reader ready, and then you expand, and then you wrap up. I love doing it. I've been doing it for many years when I realized that, hey, that was a shape of a diamond. Textbook show rectangle, but I came out with a diamond. You start with being focused of what the paragraph will be about, then you expand it. Then when you finish your expansion of ideas, you're going to wrap up the paragraph. So it becomes a diamond. All right? Act on. So I'll conduct a research. I prepare surveys to find out what is it that they like or they don't like, or what is it that makes them enjoy it. All right? Okay? So creative techniques is not enough. Movie is not enough. So I go and search for theories that back up my creative techniques. All right. So to start off, I ask myself, what are the benefits? What is the technique that students like? What are the activities, group work, that makes it successful? Although it's a movie, but once the movie is over, the busy activities, the noisy activities in the class, college writing for paragraphing, that group work is actually enjoyable for the students. All right. Okay, so I ask myself that. After that, I'm still at number 1. I read up the theories. I found that when I use movies, I actually use scaffolding. My diamond is actually a template. If I give them the diamond, it's a template to use to write the paragraph. So I call is the scaffolding theory by Brunner. Go read it up. All right, okay? Brunner talks about scaffolding, and according to Brunner, for scaffolding theories, the reason why scaffold, you put wooden scaffolding, all right, the templates there. So what do I use for it? I use the graphic organizers, the mind maps. Empty mind map. I show one mind map with something in it, and then I leave it empty, so it become graphic organizers, and then I show them. I need to model what I want them to do. So that will be scaffolding theory by Brunner. All right, and then I realized that movies, they got very excited with movies. I too. All right, okay, because it's real social issues, and I think it looks like entertainment. It looks like fun. Remember, they want to have fun. All right, so it looks like fun. So yes, they enjoy the activities. Then what do I do after that? I start planning my research questions. I start collecting data. I start preparing my questionnaires. All right, and all the sections are there, and I collect data. I analyze it, and what do I do? Number 2, once you have planned a creative class, a fun class, don't just leave it there. Write it up. I know, for people who have writing block, this is like, you've got to write chapter 1. You have to write the introduction. You have to write the literature review. You've got to write your methodology. You've got to write your findings. You write your conclusion, summary of findings, pedagogical implication, so that you can send to either book chapters or you can send to journals. So you are sharing with the world about your classroom, what you do in your classroom. All right, the good things. All right. So what I did was that movie I publish. I write chapter in a book with a team of lecturers from Turkey and a few others, I think from China, from Japan. So Cambridge Scholars Publishing, I publish a book, and one chapter is about my using movies in the writing classroom. So that particular, I don't know whether it's very innovative, maybe creative or fun way of writing. I actually write about it properly. I wrote a proper research paper about it, and I presented in a conference. And then after that, I sent for a chapter in a book, and it's published. All right. But I couldn't just sit down there. It's not enough. All right. So what do you do? What do I do? Number 3. Just now I wrote a paper. Now you can, chapter in book is not enough. You should aim for journals. Publish, number 3. All right. Classroom ideas, write the research. So now publish. So I then, for that particular research, I wrote a paper on constructivism, the theory of constructivism. All right, cognitive constructivism. All right, constructivism is by Piaget. All right, okay. I combine. I scaffold. I scaffold what I do in the classroom with the theory of constructivism, and I wrote a paper on it. All right, so this paper is focused on using movies in group writing. They write essay. They watch the movie. They write an essay about the movie, but they focus on the group work. Okay, group writing. So I wrote one paper there for a journal. All right. Then after that, I got better. I got more ideas, and then I realized that My diamond, when I want to help my students to write properly, to give them the template, I actually write, okay, main idea is black color, controlling idea blue, and then you have maybe one more controlling idea red, so that I can check whether all the blue points are expanded properly and all the red points are expanded properly. All right, so then I realized that students find using the color coding in my template very easy. So I wrote another paper on color codes and selective attention approach. I read another theory, educational psychology theory, and I realized that when learners focus on colors to give them the direction of the learning, they're actually using selective attention approach. So I wrote a paper on that. All right. Next one, I published paper. Another one, I realized that in the group work, this group does one paragraph, another paragraph. It's actually called jigsaw writing, and I wrote another paper about essay writing and jigsaw writing in the classroom. Jigsaw, one person do one part, another person do one part. So if you have 5 people in a group, one person writes the intro, one person writes the main idea, conclusion, and you combine the 5 people actually finish up one essay. That's jigsaw for you, jigsaw puzzle. So jigsaw writing. So I wrote another paper for that. All right. So we are done with stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Now we are at stage 4. All right. Stage 4 is I don't just sit down there when I finish publishing. Then I send for copyright. All right. Intellectual property, IP. All right. I send it. I actually copyright my movie. There you are. I copyright my movie and my color codes method of teaching, but it is through the research that I have done. So I send it for copyright. All right, and there are some surveys inside there that you can also use in the research. So I copyright it at my university. All right, done. That's number 4. Now we look at number 5, our cycle. Okay, don't just stop at a copyright. Looks like you finished one cycle. Because you publish a paper. Not really. You take part in innovative competition. That's what I did. Now, I take part in an innovative competition to share with people that this is my so-called creative way of teaching writing, using movies, using color codes, and jigsaw writing. There's so many concepts, so many theories inside it. So I take part in an innovative competition. So yes, you'll get some perhaps a bronze. The minimum will be bronze medal, and I got some medals for the innovative competition of the teaching method. I'm emphasizing the word teaching method because afterward we have another one. Now it's just the innovation competition for the teaching method, the movie. All right, okay, the teaching method. All right, method of teaching. So the product in my innovation competition is my method. But I would have already written a paper on it to show that it's valid because I have written a research. I've done a research on it. All right. So yes. So I took part in innovative competition, and that one is for the method. All right. Then after I finished getting my medals, bronze or silver. I remember the first time I only got a silver. All right, so I didn't just sit there. I said, I want to write about what happens in my classroom when I use movies, what I actually do. So I want to write about that. All right, I want to share with them. Perhaps even when I'm not around, when I retire, people will still read my book, hopefully. All right, so I write a book. I call it the how-to. All right, so one book, the title is Using Movies, and the other one is Using Color Code. So I wrote 2 books. I'm not done yet. We have stage 7. So now the cycle is only at 6. The last part of the cycle. I participate in another innovative competition, but this time round, remember just now I say the innovative competition, the first one was on the method of teaching, the movie and the color code. Now I took part in another competition and it's on the book. All right, so I took part and I actually presented my book. I think I used the color code books and I got a bronze for it. Fine, all right. So I took part in a competition and I took away the bronze. Or this time is just now was the method first round, number 5, right? Now is the last, number 7 is now the competition for the book. All right. So you see, to wrap up, the innovation cycle that I talked about is actually my RPI cycle. Wow, sounds like a car. Research, publication, and innovation cycle. All right, wrap up. Okay, the first is think of a classroom idea that is different from another person that you watch that is work well with many classes, and you kind of think that you kind of know that the students learn a lot from it or maybe enjoy it. I think for the millennials is enjoy it. All right, okay. Then you plan for the next semester, what you do first, second, third, and then you plan your survey and all that. Then you write it up. If you're first timer, maybe you write in a chapter in a book, get in a group and let everybody submit a book. Or better still, number 3, go publish in a journal. All right, then write a proper research about it and publish it in a journal. Number 4, okay, send for copyright. You can copyright the method of teaching, like what I did. All right, movie and color code, and you can copyright maybe the survey if it's new and you have done the proper test. All right, and number 5, you participate in innovative competition of the method. All right, then number 6. Don't just sit there. Don't you want other people to know how to go about doing what you do in your classroom? So write a book on a how-to book. And finally, participate in innovative competition on the book itself. All right? I always tell my students, I tell my young colleagues this. I tell them this. Sometimes we go to the library and we say, I wish they have books about this. I wish they have books about this. And then when you go to the bookshop, today I want to go out and buy books, but I can't find the kind of books that I want to look at. I didn't say it. Toni Morrison said, if there is a book you really want to read, but it hasn't been written yet. So don't complain that you go to the bookshop, you can't find the book. Go write the book. So far, my favorite color is purple. So far, I've written a book on approaches to teaching of ESL writing. I've written a book on classroom research in action, color codes. I've written a book on movies and the diamond approach. So if you find that there are books out there that is not enough, you go to the bookshop and you go back and you tell people, I can't find the book on that. Then go and then write about the book. Write the book, right? Okay. Going to end already. Before I end, and a motivation: leave footprints. All right. Almost the end of my career. All right, I would love to leave footprints of creative way of teaching, footprints of how I managed to publish from simple topics and make it interesting, because I read about theories. All right, read theories like you would read a storybook, then you would know more. And why this? Now I know why this happened. Now I know why this happened. Read about theories, why certain things happen the way they were. All right, so leave footprints behind you, and good ones. Or digital footprints, your Google Scholar, your research kit. Leave footprints as you leave behind, right? Yes, that's my talk on innovation in education, and teachers who love teaching, teach children who would love learning, no matter how strict you are. I hope that too. All right, okay, thank you very much for listening. All right, have a good day, everyone. Enjoy the conference. Okay, bye.